Following Brexit, free movement rules now no longer apply between the UK and the EU, and different requirements are now in place for business travellers. In this video, I'm going to be looking at some of the key changes and points for business travellers to consider from an immigration perspective. UK nationals are now subject to the same entry requirements as other non-EU nationals when travelling into the EU. And it's important to remember that there are no uniform rules in place across the different EU member states. Whilst visa-free travel for business purposes is still possible, the position is quite different now post-Brexit, and this does have practical implications for travellers, including at the border. One of the key changes is that a UK passport holder travelling on business into the EU is now subject to a strict 90-day limit in each 180-day period spent in the Schengen area. This means having to keep track of travel and ensuring that you have sufficient headroom to cover the intended trip duration. Both business trips and personal or holiday trips into the Schengen zone would fall within the same allowance of 90 days in each rolling 180-day period. Now, there are 26 countries in the Schengen zone, including most of the EU, plus Iceland, Norway, Switzerland, and Liechtenstein. Ireland, Romania, Bulgaria, Croatia, and Cyprus are not in the zone. Additionally, when travelling, business activities will need to fall within the permitted scope, and you'll need to be prepared to confirm the purpose of your trip, show evidence of your return travel booking, as well as confirming you have sufficient funds to cover the trip. As there are no uniform rules on what is or is not permitted, care must be taken to ensure the intended activities fall within what is permitted for a short-term business visitor in that particular EU country. Helpfully, due to special provisions in place and the Common Travel Area rules, UK nationals can travel freely into Ireland with no post-Brexit immigration implications. The Trade and Cooperation Agreement with the EU does helpfully agree a common set of permitted activities for business visitors into the other 26 member states. But it's important to note that there are some member states who have reserved measures to depart from these agreed common set of activities for certain sectors or for certain activities. In terms of EU nationals visiting the UK, similar restrictions and permitted activities will apply, and there is no general permission to work in the UK as a business visitor. Although stays can be up to 6 months at a time, technically, due to the restrictions on what you can and cannot do, in practice, business visits will necessarily be of much shorter duration, typically a few days or perhaps a week or two. In general terms, attending meetings with colleagues and contacts, attending conferences and consultations, seminars and training sessions would normally be permitted. Also, negotiations and signing deals can also be undertaken on a visa-free basis in most EU countries, as well as the UK, where this forms part of a transaction. You would also normally be able to check in on your emails or take calls relating to your work, but you must make sure that those are incidental and that cannot be the main purpose of your trip. What you cannot do generally is to undertake your day job without a work visa. You shouldn't be undertaking productive work, as these would normally trigger right to work visa requirements. Providing services at the client site directly, for example, would generally require additional formalities to be undertaken. So given the changed landscape post-Brexit, it's important to understand that new requirements apply and to seek advice when needed to ensure compliance and smooth business travel.